Okay, we want to explore this concept a little bit longer of our marginal revenue being less than my demand curve in this particular area. Now, we can also see my marginal cost curve. My marginal cost curve is the same shape as it was when we talked about a purely competitive firm. My marginal cost curve is U-shaped. It starts high, comes down, and then all of a sudden starts to come up. We learned in a purely competitive industry that we will produce at the point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost when marginal cost is increasing. The same holds true for a firm that is a pure monopolist or a firm that has market power. It is the exact same. We will produce at the point where my marginal revenue is equal to my marginal cost when my marginal cost is increasing. If we were to graph this, my marginal cost curve would look like this. However, because my marginal revenue curve is at all points below my demand curve, my marginal cost curve intersects it at its lowest point. Or, I'm sorry, not at its lowest. My marginal cost curve intersects my marginal revenue below my demand. So therefore, this is the quantity the firm with market power or the firm that is a monopolist will produce. But the price comes off my demand curve. The price of the monopolist comes off my demand curve. And if we want to take a look at these, we're comparing the point where my marginal revenue is equal to my marginal cost. We take a look at this. In this case, my marginal revenue is roughly 70 away, 60 away, 50 away, 40 away, 12 away, and now at quantity 6, my marginal cost is greater. So therefore, I will produce 5 units of this particular good. I will produce 5 units, but I will charge $122 per unit. And I will make a profit of $140. My total cost minus my total revenue is equal to $140. So it's very important to understand that. Now, I want to not complicate things, but just kind of explore another avenue. In a purely competitive industry, we can go back to the former lecture that we had. We said that in that particular market structure, my demand was equal to my marginal revenue in competition. So therefore, a competitor would produce, I'm going to call this QC for quantity that the competitor will produce. Come over here and call this price C for what the competitor will charge. So a firm that is a monopolist charges more money and withholds supply. A firm that is a competitor will charge the equilibrium price, because remember, this, my marginal cost curve, is my short-run supply curve. Is my short-run supply curve. So therefore, my competitor is charging less and giving you more. That's like saying to a firm that's a monopolist, use and abuse me. Don't give me as much of the good as I want, and I'm going to pay you more for it. If we can go back to an earlier chapter, I think on market failure that we talked about, we called this area, this triangle in here, dead weight loss. This is the area that is lost. I highlighted, hopefully the camera will pick it up in green. The area that I highlighted in green, this triangle in here, is considered to be dead weight loss. This is the area that is lost to society for that particular firm being a monopolist and not a competitor. Again, any questions, email me, place them on the discussion board. Thank you. Now, in order for us to accurately see on here exactly what the competitor would produce under ordinary circumstances if it were in a purely competitive industry, we need to compare, go back and do the same thing. Find the point where marginal revenue is greatly equal to marginal cost. However, I've highlighted my price column for a purely competitive producer. This is also equal to my marginal revenue, because if you can go back and remember, marginal revenue is equal to price. This is the marginal revenue for a competitor. And I'm going to compare my marginal cost to my marginal revenue, which is equal to my price, and I find out that the competitor will produce at the point where they're equal, 162 to 90, 152 to 80, 142 to 70, 132 to 60, 122 to 70, which happened to be where the monopolist did, 162 to 80, 102 to 90, but then it goes, my marginal revenue is less, so therefore the competitor will produce 7 units and charge a price of $102. The monopolist will make $140 in profit. The competitor will make $74 in profit. Total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue minus total cost. Although the competitor is still making a profit, it's only making 1/2 the amount that the monopolist is making. So from this, we can see a number of different things that we talked about. We can view the idea of marginal revenue equaling price. We can view the idea of marginal revenue for a monopolist equaling marginal cost of a monopolist. We can view deadweight loss, and we can compare the profit and loss that a competitor would make versus a monopolist would make. Again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me them and place them on discussion board. I will email you personally, and I will also place that question or that response on discussion board. Additionally, I ask other students to view that discussion board. Even though you might not have it, please respond. We can all help each other out and learn. Again, thank you very much, and have a great day.